The... Huh? The house was built on top of a high hill. It lies hidden within a forest separated from any human habitation. My head aches. I had thought that breathing the outside air would clear myself more or less, but instead the cold night air only clouds my thoughts further.
どうしたマスター？まだ外に出るのは早かったか？
The servant pokes fun at me. I shake my head and keep going. My mind is still sluggish. Why did the moon turn black? The bright moonlight seems to be the source of my disorientation. This is pleasant music, I guess. It's quiet. Of course, it's past 2 a.m., but the city is abnormally silent even for this time. It slightly resembles my own hometown. The port town I spent my childhood in. At night, the tide would come into the town, and people would shut themselves in their houses as if they were afraid. The empty city was almost like a ship sunk at the bottom of the ocean, prompting a younger me to want to run away from that place. I must have felt that everybody would have forgotten that I existed if I'd stayed like that, at the bottom of the ocean. I couldn't help thinking about the old gods that nobody remembered anymore, sharing the same cursed fate. And now Fuyuki is being submerged into the ocean depths too. The atmosphere is different from the one I remember. It's too quiet. It might as well be an abandoned city. Regardless, only the presence of life is evident. I could feel almost countless numbers of creatures breathing. Surrounding me is an aura that I've never felt before. Mysterious things is what my servant said. I don't want to admit it, but it seems that there's credibility to what he says.
なんだあれ?
We've been walking for some 2 hours. The servant stops in his tracks and is now gazing at a particular residence.
すげえな。この辺りは見て回ったんだが、まだ残っていやがったか。
He speaks with an impressed tone. The house he's looking at is nothing more than a regular building. If there's anything that distinguishes it from the other residences, it's the one fact that the lights are on.
あんたはそこにいろ。まだ本調子じゃねえんだろ。一足先に俺が様子を見てきてやるよ。
Their servant starts walking towards it on his own accord. I try to chase after him. Pathetically, I'm thrown off by the moonlight. I've got to be honest here. I can't speak for the other servants, but see me? I didn't feel like doing this from the get-go. Okay. High-level magic. The summoning of beings purified into the level of legends, and the giving of form to them to make them familiars. That's what servants are. Okay. Not something so cheap as just borrowing a piece of the power of the heroic spirits. No. It's actually a projection of the guy himself. A resurrection just for the Holy Grail War. A clone with a short lifespan. A guardian of humanity reborn into the modern era. Sounds nice and dandy. Autonomous weapons are pretty convenient, right? Except, replicating even what's on the inside is going a little too far, don't you think? A familiar being able to think doesn't do anyone any good. That goes double for servants. Suppose there's a familiar more powerful than its master. Now, let's say it can think for itself. There's no reason why it won't revolt. I was lucky enough to be summoned by a master that was my type of woman. Personally, I'm satisfied with her. But it looks like I'm going to be doing some disobeying. Okay. I mean, it's good that he likes her. That's good. Why? Well, why not? I might not have any complaints about the boss, but I've got a hell of a lot to say about society. Okay. I feel like shit. Like I was left hanging in the morgue. Back when I was alive, the world was still lively. Nowadays it's old and dying. Got a few 100 million years left before it kicks the bucket, and it's too late to do anything about it. Being one of those fellows that knew what she was like back in the old days, it wouldn't be right to not be a little angry about her current predicament and all that. Okay. Of course, it was pretty obvious that she'd be cleaned dry one of these days, but damn, that was fast. Now there's a part of me that's got to hate my own species for that filthiness. But another part of me wants to pat them on the back at the same time. The power of humanity is incredible. Oh, how morals have come and gone in the blink of an eye. Makes me wonder just how many new generations of humanity have been born, and how many have been wiped out. Given how fast they are, it's too bad how they haven't come up with a kind of evolution that's environmentally friendly. I've got to hand it to the hominids. They sure did a great job at amplifying a ready-made system, instead of funding a new kind of cycle. But that means there's no future ahead. So if they can buy a little more time, it'd be nice if they come up with some new kind of improvement and keep going. Yeah, I mean, I guess he has a point, right? We are kind of sucking the earth dry. They've already gone to all the trouble of destroying this much. Where do we want to go? Why have we exhausted the land? Was this good, or was this bad? I want results that anyone can understand. Even if the answer said it was a failure, I don't mind one bit.
はあ、ほんと。他の連中はどう思ってんのかね。
Those of heroic spirits status must have feelings of animosity towards this era. Maybe. Then again, heroic spirits are supposed to be on humanity's side, so that would mean they'd approve of whatever result humanity brings about. Just like how I do the opposite of that. Okay. Let's say there was this godlike, absolute being as a force of good. And let's say he was summoned here in this day and age. Now, what would he do? Would he approve of it? Would he act to protect us? If he approves, we face extinction. If he protects us, he'll watch on. A sane heroic spirit would choose the latter. One with a few screws loose would happily lend a hand, and another with only one screw left would get excited at making the world a better place. Okay, yeah? Something like, I'm gonna save the world. Is that a dig at Shiro? Even I know he doesn't know Shiro, but like I feel like the writers are like, yeah, Shiro's not all there. Wow. I don't ever want to meet that kind of guy, let alone fight him. Yeah. Now, as for me, there's only one thing I can do either way. I may be a heroic spirit, but I'm not that strong. Take a look at all the legends in the world and you still won't find anybody weaker than me. That's why he backed down so easily. Cause he's right. I remember in Hemisphere he talked about his story, how when he was summoned he was killed like immediately. Right. So he figured he just couldn't take his master. Yeah, I'm number 1. You're damn lucky, master. Can't get any lower than this. Easy to make up a battle plan, since all there is to do is think about how to make Easy to make up a battle plan, since all there is to do is think about how to take on the strong. I don't want to think about it, but there's a good chance that lady's stronger than me in pure fighting ability. Yeah, maybe. Probably. A heroic spirit getting his ass kicked by a human? Oh boy, I want to disappear.
だよな。正直いただけねえわ、あの女。
Don't cause any deaths. That's what she said. That's the way to go, milady Magus of the House of Whatever. Can't expect a final strategy that reeks of sheltered girl on honor roll. Fitting sense of pure humanity for a master. Yeah. But hey, I can't do that. All I can do is kill. Honestly, a bloodless victory is a pain in the ass. I'm already the weakest. I'm not going to be winning if I'm a goody two-shoes. I guess that's fair? This thing does have war in the name, so we ought to be relying on the slaughter techniques that man had so painstakingly developed. Servants are one thing, but masters are humans. It'd be way easier to take them out with mines and explosions like the last time. Oh, is that how him and his master did things in, what, the second war? Third war, second war? One of those? I don't remember which. But, it's interesting.
ま、今はそんな時代じゃないけどな。
No, I haven't seen Fate Zero yet. I was actually gonna, record episode 1 today. Later today.
前は物騒な時期だったからな。命の扱いは安かったんだが。
This time things are different. The Mages Association is watching oh so painstakingly close. Plus, the system of public safety that modern man has created is not too shabby. If I run wild, the other masters will figure out where Bazit is. I suppose. Now, I don't mind finishing off a horde of people nice and fast, but consecutive fighting on consecutive nights is going to exhaust me, so I want to avoid that. On that point, the part on Bazit's strategy about not going overboard is fine with me. So I'll try my best to follow the master's plan, like a good servant would. Good. Great. Well then. With that out of the way, let's turn back to what we have now.
待て、何をするつもりだお前は。
Ignoring my hesitant master's voice, I'm heading to the house. I don't have to bother checking. The fact that the lights are on means there are live humans inside. Yeah? Unfortunately, I don't have any human or heat detecting abilities. My servant skills can be summed up as nothing. But that's okay. What's inside there is human. I dematerialize myself and pass through the front door. I manifest my weapon and go towards the people in the living room. Let's finish this. Fast and cruel like always. Now, for all I know, there could be some accident like the strongest ultra-human in all of human history inside, and has powers to surpass the heroic spirit. No problem whatsoever. I may be the weakest, but I can defeat the most powerful human being. We'll see. Why? Because it's not something to brag about, but when it comes down to dealing with humans, I'm the strongest. Blood splashes up in the air. The inhabitants are dead. One middle-aged man, 2 boys, 1 granny, 1 old man holding a blood-stained knife. Oh, he's still alive.
何それ
What a letdown. By the time I broke in, it was already over. Who is the old man? His breath is ragged and heavy. The mad culprit who massacred those 4. He doesn't pay any attention to me. Probably because he wants to take out the last geezer. The geezer backed himself up to the wall and is desperately shaking his head. The murder scene and method are pretty grisly to look at. The bodies are ravaged beyond recognition. Blood, flesh, and entrails are splendidly scattered about. The choking stench of life. A living space splattered here and there. The end roll for the Brady Bunch. I don't remember the Brady Bunch ending that way. But, you know. I mean, alternate universe of Brady Bunch. Damn clean for a murder scene. Not one little flaw. After all, it was murder for murder's sake. No robbing, no horrible R-word, no hungering. Not one bit of that here. I'll save him since he asked. Thank you, Avenger. Thank you. Since it was a surprise blow from behind, the murderer is killed easily. After that, I'm back to my regular job. Well, by the time I ran into that house, it was all over.
なんてこと。
There are 5 corpses in the living room. I'm able to tell by what appears to be 5 heads severed from the nose. It's a slaughter scene so grotesque that I could not have determined how many there are through any other means.
悪いな。 先に済ませちまったぜ。
The servant says while standing idly in a pool of fresh blood. In the servant's clenched hand is a warped dagger. A form that seems to be the mix of the fangs and claws of a beast. Is it meant to be gripped backhanded? I've never seen a weapon that looked so difficult to use. So that weapon is his noble phantasm. His symbol is a heroic spirit.
おっかないぜマスター。そう睨むな。どうだ、一つ状況説明でもするか。
必要ありません。凶器と傷跡は一致しています。
But he only killed the old man, though. The shadow laughs in agreement. There's no need to investigate any further. Is he just gonna let her believe that he killed all of them? The situation told me that the cause of this tragedy was a servant.
私からの質問は一つです。なぜ殺したのですか？
なぜって、これもあんたのためだぜ。俺は当たりを探しているだけだ。一人一人調べるのも、一人一人殺していくのも変わらない。
I mean, in a twisted, like, fucked up sort of way, he's not wrong, I guess.
要は目撃者を作らなければいいんだろ？ならよ、こうして潰していけば、いつかマスターに出会えるぜ。
お前は。
This guy, he hadn't listened to anything I said. I was prepared to accept some sacrifices when I went into battle. I'm a magus, and I'm no different from a murderer. However, still, I never desired this kind of meaningless sacrifice.
お前は人を殺すことが楽しいのか？
あ？バカ言うな。俺だって好きでやってるわけじゃねえ。こうして求められた以上、自分にできることをやっただけだぜ。あのさ、人型をしてるからって勘違いするなよマスター。サーバントってのはつまるところこういうもんじゃないのか？
I mean, yeah?
質問に答えていない。私は人を殺すのが楽しいのかと聞いたのです。
I glare at the servant. Holding that warped dagger, the servant.
とりわけ何も。第一、殺しちゃ楽しめねえだろ。いろいろ。
And I know what that's referring to, but I'm not gonna say it. Heh. He directed a repugnant laugh as if he wanted me to share in his amusement.
貴様、それでも英霊か。
I can't restrain myself. It's strange. I've seen people like him countless times, yet without any reason. I feel disgust at this man's way of life. It somehow feels as if this man alone must not be forgiven. Well, that is his whole backstory.
あんたこそ殺し合いが向かないんならマスターになんざなるな。しらけるんだよ実際。 つまんね。せっかくの賞が台無しだぜ。喜んでもらえると期待してたのにさ。
そう。悪いけど、その期待には最後まで応えられない。今確信したわ。私たちは反りが合わない。あなたは私が最も嫌う人格だ。
I turned my hostility towards my own servant. I directed hatred similar to annoyance at the person I have to gain trust from first. I'm not acting right. The immaturity of showing my feelings and hating someone should have been discarded long ago.
へえ。いいね。俺も基本的にあらゆるものが気に入らない。下手に気を許されるとイラつくんで、それぐらいがちょうどいい。こういうのも気が合うっていうのかね。
The servant shows no signs of caring. I hate him, and he doesn't think anything of me. So there will be no cause for friction even if we despise each other, as we have no plans to bond.
けどさ、あんたは割と好きな部類に入る。
Except, he just said something odd.
なぜですか？あなたはあらゆるものが気に入らないのでしょう。マスターとしてあなたがどのようなサーバントかは理解できる。あなたの方向性は人間を好むものではない。
とりあえずいい女だからな。気に入らねえけど好感を抱いてるんだ。
Okay.
私が女だからという理由ですか？
女じゃなくていい女。あんたさ、えらくそそるんだよ。
I don't even want to know what he's referring to, honestly.
体つきも好みなんだが、優等生なところとか、一般論を守ろうとしてるところとか、みっともなさすぎて見ていられない。わかる？こんな単一機能を発揮しただけの仕事じゃなく、何らかの意味を持って殺したくなるぐらい、あんたは俺を欲情させてるってこと？
I don't know. The shadow laughs. Intent flows in through our connected path, so dense I can physically feel it. This servant isn't lying. He hates all things. By nature, he sees everything as an object to kill, without reason or reward. There can be no other explanation. Not for this pure hatred that can turn into a curse without having to use the incendiary device of magic, just by existing. But that leaves me with questions. For someone with as much bloodlust as him to not kill me earlier doesn't make any sense.
先ほどの話ですが、あなたはまず私を殺すと言い、それを抑えた。私に欲情しているあなたが令状なしで、どうやって私への欲求を抑えたのですか？
ああ、あんたはマスターだからな。あんたは人間じゃないってさっきルールを作ったところ。
You know, if it works, it works. Not gonna complain.
まあ要するにこの世で唯一殺す気になれない生き物になったってわけ。
Cool.
見てくれは女だけど 中身は人間じゃないっつが、攻略対象外の生物にカテゴライズしたんだよ。
That was direct. For some reason, I find his answer incredibly hurtful. I mean, you were just called inhuman, so... Yeah.
私を人間扱いしないと？
I've heard people say before that I'm boring or that I'm not charming, but this has to be the first time I wasn't treated like a woman. Ah, no. He says a human being, but that's how it sounded to me.
あれ、信用できねえか？最大限の情報なんだぜ。こんなの最初で最後の特例なんだぞ。くそ、頭くるな。こっちは本気なのに。はいはい、そうですか。形のないものは見えませんか。しょうがない。こういうのなら信用できる？
So he interpreted my silence as suspicion. He tears out a page of a notepad from the blood-soaked desk, and writes something on it.
おい、これあげる。誰かに譲ったりしないように。
Certificate of exemption from murder, valid until the end of the Holy Grail War, in well-written Japanese. He is rather childish, isn't he? Like, this is something I would do when I was like 9. Not the murder part, of course. Not the murder part, obviously, but just I don't know.
何ですかこれは？
I mean, it's exactly what it looks like.
何って人間じゃない証明書。これなら誰が見てもあんたは攻略対象外ってわかるだろ。
Good for you, he says, pushing the piece of paper into my hands. Yes, my judgment was correct. The servant and I are hopelessly doomed to not get along. We cannot afford to stay at the murder scene forever. Hurriedly, we leave the residence behind. I have my complaints with my servant acting without my permission, but it's already too late. By continuing to argue with them, the only thing that would result is further mistrust. However, there is one thing that I feel is strange about him. I cannot trust the servant. Masters and servants are linked. Because of that, I can feel that he's fundamentally the kind that enjoys murder, and completely kills his opponent ruthlessly, no matter who or what. He's my complete opposite. I complete my missions without leaving room for personal feelings. However, this servant does so only with personal feelings. He operates only on the emotion of wanting to kill people. But despite that...
なんだ？よそに行くんじゃないのか、マスター。それともあれか？ここで異常を聞きつけてきたマスターどもをはめ殺すかい？
It's not a bad idea, but no.
そんな見えすいた罠にかかる魔術師はいませんし、戦闘は第2段階からです。まずは調査からと言ったでしょ。
いや、結構いそうだぜ、間抜けなルーキーは。
I mean, he's not wrong. he ain't wrong.
例えば、夜の巡回に精を出して勝手に死んでそうなやつとかな。 下調べなんてやってたら他の連中に食われるってのが分からねえんだよ。ほんと富士の善人だねありゃ。
I mean, I don't know. I ignore my servant's chatter and walk ahead. And yet, despite all of his negative points, I don't feel that this servant is unpleasant. Yeah, no, he's like he has a weird thing with murdering people, but honestly, his personality ain't bad, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, he wants to murder people, but at the same time, I don't know. He's the kind of human being that I despise the most. I cannot tolerate him on any level. So why is it that I can't completely hate him? I close my eyes and focus on our link. In exchange for the flowing magical energy, sometimes I feel something very refreshing. A feeling of homesickness rubbing against the heart. A prayer resembling longing. How hollow. That void tells me something. I don't understand the clear reason why, but it tells me this servant will never betray me. It tells me that he will lend me his chaotic will to grant my wish.